Well, hey there, welcome back to our channel and another episode with Back Porch Time with Dan. I'm Dan, there's Mrs. Back Porch Dan, and this is our back porch. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey everybody.
How you doing, Mrs. Dan?
I'm doing better today.
Good. Good. We're trying out some new camera equipment. Not sure if it's going to work, so you let us know how it goes. We want to take a minute and talk about some things we've experienced this week, and also about celebrating wins and finding joy in things. We've had a trying week, I guess you could say, and this channel is not just about us talking about good things we do, but it's about sharing the times that we have trials also. Is that right?
Absolutely. Have good days and bad days. We're going to share it all, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to share it all. We've had some bad days this week. I've had a case of the shingles, and I'm trying to work through that. So videos have been a little delayed, I guess, but anyway, we're glad to be filming today.
Yep. Wasn't sure when we're going to get to. It's been one thing after the other. It's either been me down or him down as far as physically. But today's been a better day for me. I know he's still in a lot of pain with the shingles. He's had a rough time with it. Haven't you?
Yeah, I've had a pretty tough time. It's been painful. It's been mostly my left arm, but hopefully on the road to recovery. Today is Tuesday, and I've had it for about, what, 10 or 11 days, I guess?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I want to cut right to the chase and talk about the importance of acknowledging progress. You know, our motto is having hope that things can be better tomorrow than they were today. One way that we can realize that hope is to acknowledge progress. And I'm not talking about great gains of progress, I'm talking about progress in little things. Anytime you have a little win, it's time to celebrate.
Absolutely.
Did you have any moments of celebration this week?
I have to say I had a lot of self-pity this week, in all honesty. I had some times where I felt a little better and I was able to help him do some things, and that brightened my spirit some to know that I could still be helpful to him even though I was not doing well. You know, you hate to see the person you love more than anything in the world suffer. And he has really suffered with these shingles. The pain, it's been a lot of intense pain and rash and blisters, and just before he broke out we weren't sure what it was. We were going to have to go to the ER or something, we thought, with the nerve pain, because we really weren't sure what was happening until it broke out in the rash.
Yeah, a lot of pain in my left arm.
And shoulder.
Yeah, especially my shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, still having some pain, but the nerve pain's not as bad. Yep. Lions and tigers and shingles, oh my.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'll call the video, I don't know.
No, I think that would be a good one.
But anyway, suffering setbacks, but acknowledging little wins along the way. You know, today was a win for you. We prayed for her and prayed that she'd be able to help our daughter today with some things that she needed and child care. And Mimi came to the rescue today. She was able to get up and to help and be there in a time when it was needed.
Yeah.
And she came home and helped me too.
took our 13-year-old granddaughter to the dentist, and had to take the 16-month-old along with us, and because our daughter, their mom, had another dental appointment for herself. She had dental surgery last week and had to go back for some problems and issues today, and their appointments were at the same time. So she took the 4-year-old with her, soon to be 4-year-old, and I took the 16-month-old with me. And I wasn't sure, to be honest, this morning and last night if I was going to be able to handle that, because honestly I've been pretty much in the bed a lot of the time this past week, last week and this weekend. Had a bad fall last week and hit my head.
Sure did. Scared me to death.
Head butted the bathtub. And have had a migraine headache for almost a week after that, and some vision issues, some problem with my right eye, jumping and having stabbing pain. Anyway, on top of lupus, that's kind of been rough, and that kind of hurt my hip, and so we've both been a little, a little sickly and under the weather.
A little needy.
Yeah, a little needy.
A little needy.
Yeah. But there's nobody in this world I'd rather be in a vulnerable, needy situation with than my sweetheart right here.
Same goes for me.
So sometimes we cry together, and sometimes we laugh together about it, and sometimes we just say, if I have to go through this, at least I have you right beside me, for us to go through together and laugh at things and cry at things and just accept things. So sometimes it takes a little time to get to that point, but with God's help and His encouragement,
and your encouragement,
we get there. So today was a good day so far.
The laughing's always better than the crying, I must admit.
Most definitely.
Being down with shingles gave me opportunity to watch 1,000 things on YouTube, which I hope this will post on YouTube. But anyway, one thing I've been doing, and I mentioned I had a new camera, is learning about the camera. So I'm exploring a new hobby that is fulfilling, and learning about it, learning about the gear and all that kind of good stuff is really fulfilling. So what hobby can you take on and start that might be new for you, that would bring joy and fulfillment in your life? It's a way to grow. It's a way to do and not be sedimentary, I guess. It's a way of doing something instead of not doing anything. But it's been fun. Been learning about photography, videography a little bit. I'm very green, so I'm just now learning. But anyway, it's been fun. It's been a way to grow. That's my point. It's been a way to grow. One thing we have to do is find joy and fulfillment beyond our physical limitations. And that's challenging, but there's a world of things we can do, a world of opportunity of things to do that we can find joy and fulfillment in beyond physical limitations. If we just focus on physical limitations, then we box ourselves in and we can't really grow and have any fulfillment. I've used that word fulfillment a lot, but have you had any fulfillment? Have you done anything that is fulfilling to you? Have you learned something? Have you served someone in some kind of way that's brought you fulfillment? Or are you just living in misery?
gives me happiness when I serve you.
Gives me happiness to serve you too.
When I can do little things for my family instead of, not being able to do anything. Like being able to go and take, our granddaughter Millie to the dentist today. And take Nora with us and then take them to the Cracker Barrel. I mean, gosh, it's been a long time since we've actually went in and sat down and had a meal at a restaurant. And it was Nora's first time.
She's only one.
She's 16 months, but
Yeah.
she was just so enthralled with everything. She was just in wonderment, looking around at everything and all the, as we call them, pretties in the shopping area of Cracker Barrel, and all the pretty things to look at and touch. But she was really good. She didn't touch anything. She just was pointing at everything. And then in the restaurant, she just was looking around. She didn't understand, I think, all the other people sitting around eating too.
She's never been in a public place.
No, she hasn't. And so she really enjoyed it. She had a lot of fun, and it gave me a lot of joy to see that, to be a part of that, and to take her for her first experience of that. And Millie always talks Mimi into going to the Cracker Barrel after anything. She'll say, "I'm not ready to go home. Can we go somewhere?" That usually means, will you take me to the Cracker Barrel and let me pick out a bunch of pretties and and let me have pancakes with all that syrup on it.
Well, after the week you had, you really had every reason not to.
I did, and I felt really, really rough during the night and this morning, but I prayed and you prayed. God helped me to see it through, and I got such a blessing out of it, doing that.
So let me recap real quick. Number one, it's important that you acknowledge the small wins and celebrate the small victories. So how will you do that? How will you celebrate? Treat yourself. Do something good for yourself. Acknowledge that small win and victory. Celebrate it. Do something to celebrate. Second thing is, what kind of new hobby are you going to explore and learn to grow with, and learn and understand more, and just grow? Find yourself a hobby that'll bring you fulfillment and pleasure in your life. Not saying just focus on yourself, but I mean, take time to explore that new hobby and get some fulfillment.
I know what mine is. I want to get better at making jewelry.
Better at making jewelry.
That's something that he and I both have started doing, and made our daughters-in-law and granddaughters some necklaces.
We did for Christmas.
Yeah, and they really loved them, and it was really fun for us to work on that together, and I'd like to get more into that.
Sounds good. Let's do that.
Let's do.
So the last thing is, I want to encourage you to find some meaning and fulfillment beyond your physical limitation. Don't let your physical limitation define your fulfillment and meaning in life. There's meaning and fulfillment to be had beyond physical limitations. So put that at the forefront of your mind, and I'll put it at the forefront of mine, and try not to let my disease, and I'm not talking about shingles, I'm talking about my Parkinson's. Try not to let my disease define me and rob me of that fulfillment and meaning in life. I want to have that in spite of my physical limitation, in spite of my limited mobility, in spite of all the things that Parkinson's does for me, but that doesn't have to define me.
That's right. It robs us lupus and Parkinson's. I have lupus, he has Parkinson's. And it robs you of many things, but it does not, and that's one thing I've always said, it doesn't define us. It doesn't define who we are. It just
That's right.
describes our our issues a little
An
bit.
aspect of who we are.
Yeah, but it's not what makes us or defines us. We're so much more than that. Even if we couldn't do anything, still, just our love and respect for each other and trying to love other people, through our pain and different things. And one thing it's made us, if nothing else, is it's made us prayer warriors for family, friends, people we don't know, because you have a lot more time. You're not busy all the time. I'll never forget that acronym. Busy, buried under Satan's yoke.
Yeah.
Always busy.
And another aspect of that is we do pray for ourselves a lot of times. It's increased our dependence on God, and we've had to pray for each other and pray for ourselves a lot. And sometimes I feel a little selfish doing that. I mean, it seems like I'm always asking for help with something, but I know that God cares, and what matters to me matters to Him, because it's a loving God.
If we didn't have God, I don't know what we'd do. I know myself, I call on Him 24/7, just about.
Yeah.
I do. If I didn't have Him to depend on and call on, I don't know that I could take the pain and, the misery that comes along with lupus. And it's a different, seems like it's a different thing every day. And, I woke up this past week, I thought, oh no, I've got shingles too, because I had a rash. It wasn't shingles, it's just lupus. I've had many rashes in the past with lupus, so you just never know from one day to the next, and some days I just have to laugh about it, so.
Well, we do this because we want to encourage other people. We see such a need for encouragement, and we just want you to know that we love you, and we're pulling for you, and want you to do well, want you to have meaning and fulfillment.
Absolutely.
And find joy and celebrate those wins. And I want to ask you to do something else too, if you would. I rarely get comments on our videos, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I try to post on all social media. But I want you to comment so that we can start to build a community and share. You never know. Your comment might be the very thing that somebody else needs to hear. Might not be my comments in these videos or even her comments, but it might be something you say that you type or dictate in as a comment. It might be the very thing that somebody else needs to hear. It might be the very thing that keeps them going, keeps them hanging on. So let's build a community. Let's comment on these videos. Let us know your situation so we can pray for you, and so that others can understand that they're not alone.
And you may not have any physical limitations. That's great and that's wonderful. But everybody knows someone that does. And whether it's Parkinson's or lupus or anything else, people have maybe broken hearts. They have depression, loneliness, sadness, anxiety. We want to encourage everybody, and if you know anybody that needs encouraging, and hopefully this is encouraging to them, that to know that physical ailment, an emotional ailment, a spiritual ailment, whatever. There's hope out there, and there's people that care. We can't do a lot of things, but we can always pray. If you have a prayer request, please comment, put them on there, send them to us. We'll pray for you. We'll pray for you by name. And try to help in any way that we can, give you maybe a good doctor's name or a good church that you could link up with, or
just as another encouraging word.
Yeah, we could encourage you by messaging with you on there. So it's not just for people with disabilities and limited mobility. It's for anybody that needs somebody to think about them and care for them and pray for them.
Yeah. We want you to know there's somebody out here who cares.
That's right.
The way to have hope that tomorrow can be better than today, 3 good ways, not the only ways, but 3 good ways is to find fulfillment and meaning in a new hobby through growth and everything. Is to celebrate small wins and victories you may have. It's so important. And to reach beyond your physical limitations, or like she said, maybe emotional limitations, and find fulfillment in doing for others and doing things that you've maybe never experienced before. Well, thanks for joining us today, and God bless. We'll see you next time.